Good morning, class. So we are now on step 2 of our writing process. In step 1, we created a circle map of all of our ideas and all of the different activities that we use math for. So in this case, I have schoolwork, driving, cooking, teaching, taking care of my dogs, my bank account, chores, and spending money. And then I chose what I'm going to be writing about is painting. So I'm going to take my idea and I'm going to make a topic sentence. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a funnel statement. Remember when we did the funnel? So we're going to do that. I'm going to take 3 different ideas that I'm not doing, and then I'm going to address the one that I am doing. So let's see. I'm going to choose, and I'm going to circle them in a different color. And then I'm going to have to add the color here in a second. So I'm going to go with cooking. Okay, let me change the backdrop and the line color. So 3 different ideas. I'm going to choose red. So cooking, make the font a little bit thicker. And then taking care of my dogs. Let's see. Let's try to do that again. Oh, I moved cooking. That's what I did. Okay, so let's move this one back. Taking care of my dogs, cooking, and driving. Okay, so these are my 3 runners-up that I'm going to be writing about in my funnel statement, but then there's only one that I'm actually writing about. So let's see. I'm going to start with a statement and another text box. Okay. Let's see, there are many activities in my life where I use, you got it, math, such as, and this is where I'm going to add those 3 ideas. Do you remember what they were? Okay, cooking, driving, and taking care of my dogs. Okay, period. However, the activity that I use math for, I'm going to take that out. I'm not sure I like that. I'm going to go, however, I use several different kinds of math when I am painting. There are many activities in my life where I use math, such as cooking, driving, and taking care of my dogs. However, I use several different kinds of math when I am painting. Now, I might tweak this a little bit more as I get further in my paper, but at least I have a topic sentence. So I wanted to add some spacing in here. Let me slide me down more. Actually, it might be this one. There we go. And then I want to make that just a little bit bigger. Okay. All right, so now I need to add my supporting details. So this is where I think of what activities, what do I do when I paint where I use math? You can write this in a complete sentence. You don't have to write it in a complete sentence. These are just the ideas, the supporting details that lead into this. I think I put complete sentences here because I think that helps when you get to the next step, because these will be your topic sentences. But let's see. The first way that I use math for, when I use math when I'm painting, is I'm talking about when I'm repainting furniture, like I did with my coffee table. So the first thing I do is I have to find that piece of furniture, and I need to measure the perimeter to know how big it is. I need to measure the area. So when I am choosing a piece of furniture to paint, I measure the perimeter and area. Okay, put it back. Do you know what kind of sentence that is? Do you remember us practicing that? Or if you watched one of my YouTube videos? Yeah, it's a complex sentence. I have my subordinated conjunction, when, and then I have my dependent clause, when I am choosing a piece of furniture. You see, I can't just say when I'm choosing a piece of furniture and just stop, because there's missing information. And then I have my independent clause. I measure the perimeter and area, which is a complete thought. So complex sentences, they help make your writing more interesting. I definitely encourage you to try to use some in this paper. Okay, so idea 2. What else do I use? Math. How do I use math? When I am painting, I need to know how much paint I'm going to need based on the piece of furniture. So I need to know how much volume of paint is needed to cover a piece of furniture. And then I might also go ahead and add a transition here. Maybe I can put also, I need to know how much volume of paint is needed to cover a piece of furniture. And then last, I need another idea. So as you remember with my coffee table, there were different colors, but if you remember around the border of it, I had black and white stripes. And so I need to be able to measure the size of shapes and lines that I'm going to be creating on my piece of furniture. So I measure the size and shapes of lines that will be painted on a piece of furniture. Now, I wonder if does that sound familiar? Piece of furniture. Yep, I have piece of furniture here, I have piece of furniture here, and I have a piece of furniture here. So I am being very repetitive this morning. I know that when I go back into edit using this paper, which says cups and arms, I'm going to be looking in the arms section, and I'm going to try to find I'm probably going to try to substitute some words or change out some words so that I'm not being repetitive and saying the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight this because I need to be aware that this is going to, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me undo. I want to make sure that I am going to be changing this to something different. However, for my rough draft, that is fine. You don't have to have everything perfect when you get your rough draft. You're just trying to get your ideas on paper, and then that's what the revising process is for. That's where you can go back in and say, I need to change that to something else, make it more interesting, and then rewrite my final copy. So this is step 2, your partial multiflow. You have your topic sentence, which is based on what you chose in your circle map. I wrote a funnel. So in the way I did it, I chose 3 different ideas that I did not choose, and then I'm narrowing it down to the idea I did choose. There are many activities in my life where I use math, such as cooking, driving, and taking care of my dogs. However, I use several different kinds of math when I am painting. Um, and then my 3 supporting details, the perimeter and area, I measure volume, and I also measure the size and shapes. Okay, awesome. Next video, we are going to be going over our flow map.